Welcome to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host, and we are going to talk about high school football once again. Round 3 of the state high school football playoffs are in the books. In the 3AA high school football playoffs, the New Hanover Wildcats win an exciting 41-38 win over Cape Fear. And Coach Earl Smith is with us. And Coach, gosh, I mean, if you weren't at Legion Stadium, you really missed a treat on Friday night. Of course, we had a great game over at Hoggard as well on Friday night. But wow, what a game!
Absolutely. You know, we went up 7-0, and after that, it was just kind of went back and forth, and pretty much the whole game we were down 2 scores. And I can't say enough about it. You know, the pride and the courage that our young men showed, especially in the fourth quarter, to come back. We would go ahead, they would go ahead, and then that final score, which we'll see later on in the film, and just a great effort by both teams. Really, it was a well fought match.
Now, this was the second time you faced Cape Fear, played them earlier in the regular season. Again, you go ahead 7-0. At halftime, you're down 14-7. Did you see a lot of differences with this team this second time?
Yeah, we knew they were going to, improve over a 10-week period, and the quarterback he's an amazing athlete and had a heck of a game throwing. Last time, he was not on with his passes. He was Friday night, and there was one time when he ran like a quarterback sneak and drug us about 12 yards. He weighs 260 pounds and just a heck of an athlete. And they did some things defensively in the first half that hurt us, but we kind of settled in and did a better job in the second half, especially running the football too. Into
the third quarter, you're still down 28-14. What turned it around for the Wildcats?
Well, we had a couple big stops on defense, but Blake just the offensive line started getting more time, and he found Wiz and Cole and Cyron, which we'll talk about. He was just hitting the open receiver on some big plays, and we put it in Wiz's hands in some critical situations, and he got the scores. He had 4 touchdowns, so another good night for him and Blake.
Coach, I know you have a lot of great highlights to take a look at. Let's take a look at this win for the New Hanover Wildcats over Cape Fear.
Yeah, here's sophomore Jabez Howard going off tackle. Big run for us. He had 74 yards that night, Friday night, and had a big night. Blake does a really good job here of staying in the pocket and then moving as he steps up, avoiding the rusher, and hits Cyron Williams, who is a junior, and heck of a play right there. Cyron had a big night also. This sets up this is Wiz's first touchdown, and puts us up 7-0 here. Good blocking up front, walks in the end zone. Did a really good job, except for one time on kickoff, and our special teams. Kickoff team does an excellent job here. Junior Cam Newkirk makes a tackle, and this is one of their better athletes. Comes in here and makes a good solo. And we get them back on around the 30, which we want to try to keep between the 25 and the 30 each time. Again, we get really good pressure up front from our front 7, 6, depending on what's happening. And get them for a short gain there. This is 3rd and short. And kind of hard to see it, but all 3 linebackers are involved in that. Troy, Nas, and Grant. This is huge right here. It's 3rd and short. Pressure right there from Grant Daly. Incomplete pass. And this sets up a field goal try. We thought at first it was a fake, but just a bad snap. The holder decides to run it, and Francis Meehan picks it off in the end zone. That's huge right there. Kept them out scoring. And here's Blake also hitting Cyron again on a little under slant route. Another first down. And that was a key. I think we had 1 holding penalty, which was, we've been trying to work on that. Get a nice call here by Coach Rayner, offensive coordinator, the draw play on first down. Pick up big yardage there, again by Jabez. Here Blake is going to connect again with Cyron. You know, Wiz is getting double covered so much, and it's opening it up for other guys, and that's the thing that he keeps doing. We continue to get great pursuit by our defense here. You know, you can see the effort, and they get a holding penalty there, backs them up. You know, Grant Daly and Nas just keep playing great. Seniors, we're going to miss them next year. Here's Grant pursuing down the line, tackle for no gain. Yeah, they put in some new wrinkles for us, and you know, we made some adjustments during the game, and as we went, just again, good technique right there, turn it back inside. Just the whole group right there on top of it. Here Blake does a great job of stepping up in the pocket, hitting Wiz over the middle. And, you know, Blake threw for over 300 yards again. Wiz was, I think, 140 total yards receiving and rushing. I think this is a situation, we're in 3rd and 25 here. No, it's 1st and 25. Blake gets hit as he throws it. You see Wiz makes the catch. And this is when the tide started, the momentum started changing in the 4th quarter. Here's the end zone shot. You can just see where this is only one of these. Last couple of weeks we've had a bunch of them. So you can see how Blake gets hit just as he throws it. Still connects.
Wiz Vaughn again with the touchdown, another big night for Wiz.
Absolutely. Cole Tanner came through for us twice here. You'll see right here's one of them right here. He's just been Mr. Consistent. Blake steps up in the pocket, hits him right there on it's a back shoulder throw. Again, another first down. This is another score by Jabez. Great block and good seal block right there by our guard. And again, the O-line just came through there in the 4th quarter for us. You can see it from here. Right guard, Jade Ellis, pulls around on the seal. He's been a great leader for us this year. He's pretty much leads them with grading out. Here's the punt. This is a huge turnover for us. You know, I told you we had the 3-2 ratio. We got through them. The snap goes over. He tries to kick it, and Grant recovers. Gotta get an end zone shot of it over the guy's head.
Big break there for
Big break, absolutely. Big stop right there with Nas. Almost had a pick there. That would have been big. Here's another one of Wiz's. This is jet sweep. And speed turns it on the edge there. Again, he had 4 touchdowns for the night. I think this is one of the last clips here. This is another connection to Cole Tanner. Gets us down to the 1, and then Blake had two quarterback sneaks that were for big. This is one here for go-ahead touchdown here. And, we held on. They got the ball back with like I think it was 32 seconds, and got down within field goal range, and we got some people back there. We didn't block it, but he hooked it left, and the game was over. And what a game!
Wow, what a game it was! Of course, several times the Wildcats were down. It looked really bad for your team, but your kids never gave up.
Yeah, you know, we were, like I said, close to going down 3 touchdowns numerous times in the middle of the game, and that just goes back to our senior leadership that we have. They're not going to be denied.
All right, let's take a look now. This is a big win for the Wildcats, moving on now to the championship game of the East in 3AA. You're going to be taking on Eastern Guilford, who beat Clayton, upset Clayton, the #1 seed in your bracket, 38-31 on Friday night. That means you have another home game. Absolutely.
And we're excited about being back at Legion for one more time. And you know, this football team that we're playing, I was telling you earlier, they were in the 3AA. They were 3AA runner-ups last year, Eastern Guilford, and so that makes 3 in a row. We had the 4A state champion when we played Dudley, next week we had the 4A runner-up, which was Cape Fear, and then this is this week. So this is an experienced team, really good, really well coached. We match up pretty well. It's very similar. They have a tall lefty quarterback that can throw the football, good running game, and they play really good defense, of course, by beating Clayton.
Let's talk a little bit about what your preparations will be going into this week and preparing for them. Any injury report did you like to give us an update on? How are you physically? Everything looking good towards this week?
As far as I know, Wiz got a little bruise on his hand in the first quarter, and he came back. And other than that, I think we're good. We didn't make a big deal out of it, but starting defensive end Chris Taylor, last Tuesday when school was out, actually a young man ran over the top of his foot with a vehicle. Luckily, it was not a big truck or anything, and he played a little bit Friday night, but not like we'd like to him. We think we'll have him back 100% this week. So other than that, I think we're good. Knock on wood. Emotion-wise,
obviously this was a very emotional game, back and forth. You pulled out 41-38, comes down to a missed field goal that could have tied it up. A lot of emotions, a lot of your seniors are thinking, is this my last game? So again, they pulled out. Emotion-wise, going into this championship, I know they'll be ready.
Oh, absolutely. They know, we're talking, it's going to go fast. We'll have our normal week. We cut practice back a little bit and make sure it's fine-tuned. And coaching staff did a good job this past weekend watching film on Eastern Guilford. So they'll have a great game plan, and all to be great. Let's make sure we get our fans out for Friday night and fill that stadium.
Absolutely. We'd love to see a big crowd out at Legion Stadium as the Wildcats will be taking on Eastern Guilford. And Coach, as you look at your team going into this final championship, this has been a special year for your group this year, especially these seniors that have played so well for you. It would be just a great honor to see them go on to the state championship. So obviously you're going to be really focusing on fundamentals this week. I think you were able to stay away from the penalties that you'd seen in the last few games.
Yeah, last 2 weeks we've done better, and hopefully will continue this week. You get a neutral crew like this past week, and a lot of times they'll just let you play, and we'll call it close, but at the same time let them play a little bit. And that's what both teams hope for. But yeah, I hope the momentum keeps going. We still haven't played our best game, and that's good, and we just got to keep improving.
Well, congratulations to the New Hanover Wildcats and Coach Earl Smith. Wildcats now 13-1 on the season. Big win over Cape Fear, 41-38 in round 3. Again, back at Legion Stadium this Friday night, taking on Eastern Guilford. And I'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. Welcome back once again to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host, and while the Wildcats were winning over at Legion Stadium, the Hoggard Vikings had a battle going on at Scott Braswell Stadium as they took on Heritage, winning 20-8. As Craig Underwood joins us now, the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Your Vikes are now 13-0 on the season. Big third-round win, but it wasn't easy, and It was a tough game. It was very close going into the fourth quarter, but again, defense really stepped up for the Vikings in this one.
They did. I'll tell you, Heritage is a really good football team. A lot of talent and a good game plan that they brought in. So I was just really proud of the way our guys, offensively, defensively, special teams execution, really felt like it was a big-time team victory in terms of multiple guys just stepping up and making big plays when we needed them.
Had 3 turnovers, key for you, getting that early lead early for the Vikings. And you really put a lot of pressure on their quarterback. Of course, a Duke commit, Gunnar Holmberg was coming into this game, good-looking athlete. I think you pressured him a lot, kept him off balance. Of course, they have a running back in Ricky Pearson from NC State that's going to be going to NC State. Really kept him in check as well. So defensively, your game plan to counteract their offense, you were successful.
Yeah, really to hold them to 8 points was, again, that's a huge credit to just the guys being able to execute on the field. We're not always we're not always bigger and not always faster than the teams we're playing, but man, we've got some guys that they learn their job. They really focus during the week, and they come out and they've played extremely well on Friday nights. I mean, if you look at the point totals that our defense has let up this year have been I couldn't be more proud of them. I mean, they show up and they play every Friday night.
And then offensively, when you had to, you made the plays against a very, very tough Husky defense.
It was. I mean, they were really loaded up front, and I thought our offensive line just continued to fight and fight. Mason McKeithen, really the leader of that group, just looked at him a few times on the sideline, and he's, we got it, coach. You could tell that. I mean, they knew they had a challenge in front of them, but they just continued to battle. Josh Jones was under a lot of pressure throughout the night, and to come away playing a defense like that and not turning the ball over once. Huge credit to our players and our coaches, their emphasis on ball security. I thought our running backs did a great job of just continuing, let's get what we can get. You saw yards after catch from several receivers. C.J. Pipkin had a big catch we'll see on the film in a minute where, just yards after the catch that, we're just going to stay the course. And that last touchdown drive, I mean, just the execution there I thought was, kind of the tell-all of the game. We're just gonna keep fighting, and we're gonna execute when it counts.
All right, Coach. I know you have a lot of great video to look at. Some great highlights from the Vikings' big win.
This is our first touchdown right here. So set the tone. We had gotten a defensive stop, and then Trey Hauser was able to get behind their coverage, and big touchdown from Josh Jones. Then we go straight to the kickoff that followed, and this is Christian Holler coming down, and just a blur into the screen. You can see the collision there. I mean, it was violent, and ball comes popping out, and that's a huge play from our middle linebacker on special teams.
Big hit.
Then after getting a field goal out of that, we come back on defense, and this is Isaiah Kemp with an interception. Return for a touchdown, kind of silly. We're correcting that mistake of a little block in the back, got it called back, but we're still able to get 3 points out of the deal. Back on the defensive side, that was Holler, Romano, and company. Just a lot of bodies. Scott Looney really flew around. You're going to hear his name quite a bit. Didn't score on the next possession, but we're able to pin them deep and force them to drive the field. That was one of our big game plans. Again, I love to name the guys that made that play, but you're naming the whole front seven. The defensive line and linebackers just fits throughout the night. There's Landon Romano, again, coming off a block, and Scott Looney. Romano and Looney coming free again. Looney's a guy that hadn't started for us all year, but stepped up and had a big night there. This is right in the fourth quarter. And they were driving. We were up 13-8, and we were able to force a fumble. That's Reese Moulton recovering. Tayshawn James forced the fumble. And then this is the drive that followed. Hitting the C.J. Pipkin catch was right before that, and then Austin Edwards, and then Schiavone catches a touchdown to finish it off. Highlights got a little out of order here. I apologize. But there was a big stop coming through. Mackenzie Frazier making some big plays for us. Again, you see there's pressure. This is the first series of the game here. Again, sorry to be a little out of sequence, but you can get a little end zone shot and see, again, we tried to make sure he was never comfortable, so we were able to get shots on the quarterback throughout the night to, hopefully get him throwing that ball a little less accurate, and I thought our pass rush did a good job of that. You mentioned their tailback, good player, but this is our front seven stopping him. So that's Christian Holler in the middle, getting a good read right there. But Romano, Eason, Austin Edwards stepping in on defense this week, made some big plays for us. So back to the offensive side, just Coach Dimmick does a really good job in multiple formations. So getting into an empty package here, and they dropped everybody in coverage, allowing Josh to get behind that offensive line and go make something happen. Again, they went to a three-man front here, which gave us, you can again see Josh getting a good read, making a couple guys miss, and he's not always looked at as a runner, but he's pretty dangerous with his feet as well as his arm. So he continues to just play lights out for us. He's a special player. So this is Isaiah Kemp and Christian Holler. Again, good pass rush up front. So they got into a quick passing game to try and eliminate that pass rush threat. But that was Cade Edwards coming, saying, "Hey, we're coming no matter what." He was in his face. So proud of those guys. Again, multiple. They had to be really multiple in their assignment to execute the defensive game plan this week. This was, I believe, Anthony Schiavone on the sideline there. Anthony had to step in. A little smash route to Anthony here. So nice catch, getting out of bounds. Big first down for us there. Getting back over is Garrett Manning. We should bring his feet with him a little more there, but still, again, we had a little knock on some of our tackling from the Southview game, and thought our guys really picked it up this week.
Yeah, I think you established that early. I mean, there were some major hits early, really hitting hard. I think your DBs, your defensive backs had a really nice night as well in terms of their coverage.
They did. I thought they really, again, executed their assignment well, whether it was a zone or whether it was a man coverage. We tried to be multiple. But the big thing was when those passes were completed underneath, came up and made tackles. There weren't any misses in there. So there's a big catch by C.J. Pipkin. Nice grab there. Again, helping us move the chains. Actually, that was Anthony Schiavone. That receiving core, we're really lucky with that group. There you can see how much of a horse their running back was. But again, our guys really buying into, hey, let's get there, let's get help. So we're battling. That's Daniel Eason battling inside. Here's Romano's got him wrapped up, and here comes the party. So everybody getting in there to get him down.
Yeah, really wore him down too. Late in the game, he didn't have the same energy that he had early.
Yeah. They connected on him actually passing out of the backfield a few times. They gave us some fits, but I thought we contained his run pretty well throughout the night. Here's Lloyd Giroux and a good shot at our offensive line. Mason McKeith and Donovan Simmons getting some really good movement there. Evan Manning pulling up in there, as well as Bill Moore. And Lloyd just going, and again, he grinds on you. You have to tackle Lloyd all night. He's tough. You see the quarterback's mobility here, but our guys just stay in the course. And again, that's a pretty physical hit there coming from, I believe this is Looney from the backside that gets him here. Several guys, Romano almost had him, and then we get him stood up. And again, you see a pretty good violent shot coming in there. Landon Romano in on it as well. He had a big night. I tell you, Landon's, he's another senior leader for us. Here he is again.
Yeah, his name was called out a lot by the PA announcer.
I think he had 10 tackles from a defensive line position. That's a heck of a night. Again, that's him. We're just working inside, down the line. Again, buying into the coaching. The guys did a great job with that, and that's what you got to do to beat a team with as many athletic weapons as they had. Here's Reese Moulton. Reese is about 170 pounds. Their running back's 220 pounds. Do what you got to do to get him down. So, really proud of, again, just overall, you see that. There's clips of all three phases of the game, and just guys executed.
Great effort by the Vikings in this one. Defensively, again, a great pursuit in terms of defensive pressure put on the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Again, your defensive backs, I think, really played well in terms of coverage. That combination really worked for you, putting a lot of pressure on them, and you were able to stop their offensive weapons. Offensively, you got the job done again. With your quarterback, Josh, again, he's a smart quarterback. I mean, he ran when he needed to, threw the ball well. He stayed away from any major turnovers. So, again, a great effort, a big win for you, 20-8, and now it's on to the Eastern Championship. Now you go on the road. You're taking on the Scots of Scotland County, who were victorious over South Central Pitt on Friday night, 74-34. They are averaging 52.8 points per game. That's going to be a real challenge for your defense, but your defense has stepped up every time.
That's, I think our kids are really excited about the challenge. We went to Scotland last year and got knocked out of the playoffs in Laurinburg. So I think our guys have I think they look forward to trying to bounce back from that. This year they've played like a team on a mission, and I think they're very excited at this opportunity. But we understand it's a big challenge. I tell you, they don't punt a lot. Let's put it that way. So we're hoping we can contain their offense and get quality offensive production on our end.
Now, this will be your first road trip in the playoffs, and again, a very difficult place to play, going up to Laurinburg to take on the Scots. As you approach this week with practices and looking at your team, what will you be really focusing on to get them ready for this game?
Well, I say it each week, so I don't mean to be repetitive, but again, it's the staying the course of the fundamental development, just staying sharp and all the little things. I think when you play great teams, you got to do the little things right. And then as far as the road trip, that's why we scheduled Orange, 3.5 hours up the road. That's why we schedule Carolina Forest, having to go into South Carolina and play. You do those things early, and I think you're preparing for down the road, that big road trip in the playoffs. So, I think, again, this is a mature football team. That's one thing I'll say about our guys. They play with a lot of passion, they play with a lot of grit, and they're a mature football team in the way that they prepare. So I think they're very excited about this challenge.
Well, Coach, congratulations on your win against Heritage, 20-8, on to round 4 of the state
That's
playoffs.
Right.
Good luck to you. Coach Craig Underwood, the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings, victorious this Friday night and looking towards a big game now, going on the road to Scotland County. And of course, Friday night means football once again this week for New Hanover County Schools in New Hanover and Hoggard. So if you are a Wildcat fan, you got to be heading out to Legion Stadium. If you're a Viking fan, let's get in the car and go up to Laurinburg in a big way. Give these Vikings some big support up in Laurinburg as the Vikings take on Scotland County. For the Sports Roundtable, for another week, I'm Tom Lamont.